Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Well, 31 degrees on the barn thermometer, and we are anxiously awaiting the weather to move in, a wintry mix, and depending on where you're at in the state, will determine how much of that is rain, how much of that is sleet, how much of that is snow, or if you're going to be receiving some ice accumulation. Yesterday, the barnyard finally thawed out from the ice and sleet over the weekend. Now we're ready for round two. This quick calendar reminder, the Jackson County Regional Livestock Market will be having a bred cow consignment sale coming up this Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. Visit jcrlm.com, your livestock authority. Taking a look at your agricultural headlines, the 2025 National Farm Machinery Show started today in Louisville, Kentucky. It runs through Saturday. It's open every day from 9 until 5. More than 800 exhibitors are going to be releasing information about products and machines that they'll have on display. That at the Kentucky Exposition Center. The show's expected to draw near 300,000 visitors throughout the week. Now, one of those products being released is Ag Leader's Drift Solution RightPath. Ag Leader's introducing RightPath. That's a passive implement steering solution to correct implement drifting. The position of the implement is as important, if not more important, as the position of the tractor. That, according to Matt Pefkin, he's the Ag Leader product manager. An implement can drift off the intended guidance line up to 10 inches, even on flat ground. Ag Leader said in its release that RightPath keeps implements centered on that guidance line. Let's get an update on that Wednesday weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
The weather's starting to turn ugly pretty quick here. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick look at that Ohio forecast update. We're still watching moisture work its way towards us, on our way to some rain, freezing rain, and even some wet snow depending on where you're at. Update on the low pressure track. It looks like it's going to continue to move right across Ohio from southwest to northeast. That puts most of us in the rain track. I think the northwestern part of the state and north central part of the state is going to be the best area to see some freezing rain and ice, and then the far, far, far northwest tip of Ohio can still see some snow accumulations on the order of several inches, 1 to 4, I think. So it's going to be a mess here this afternoon and evening, but tomorrow it's done. We are cold. We get some sunshine in, even into Friday, before more rain, wet snow, and maybe even some thunderstorms for the weekend. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. The WASDE report came out yesterday. That's the World Ag Supply and Demand Estimates, and the USDA cut Argentina's soybean production by 3 million metric tons to 49 million metric tons, while they left Brazil's unchanged at 169 million metric tons. Global ending stocks then declined by 4 million metric tons to 124, that below the range of pre-report expectations. Domestic and ending stocks were also left unchanged. Now, USDA cut both Argentina and Brazil's corn production by an estimated 1 million metric ton, that to 50 million and 126 million respectively. Now, Tuesday's new crop U.S. ending stocks estimates were neutral for corn, soybeans, and wheat. That, according to Rhett Montgomery, the DTN lead analyst. World ending stock estimates from USDA were modestly bullish for corn, moderately bullish for soybeans, and neutral for wheat, he said. USDA released its February crop production and World Ag Supply and Demand Estimates report yesterday. The farm gate price for 24-25 was increased 10 cents a bushel to $4.35 a bushel for corn. That was the only change USDA made in domestic corn numbers, with production for the 24-25 crop at 14.867 billion bushels. The USDA held the national average at 179.3 bushels per acre. Harvested acres were at 82.9 million. Now in soybeans, USDA left the U.S. soybean supply and demand balance sheet unchanged for the 24-25 crop year, except for lowering the national average farm gate price by a dime to $10.10 a bushel, and production was pegged at 4.366 billion bushels, imports at 20 million bushels, and beginning stocks at 342 million, for total supplies of 4.729 billion bushels. If we look at wheat, USDA estimates the 24-25 domestic wheat ending stocks at 794 million bushels, that down 4 million bushels from 798 back in January, and USDA estimates wheat exports at 850 million bushels, unchanged from last month, while imports were estimated at 130 million bushels, also the same as they were in January. The average U.S. farm gate price for wheat was also unchanged, $5.55 a bushel. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at how the markets responded after this. Did you know that soybeans are the secret sauce behind Ohio's booming poultry farms? Each year, poultry consume a whopping 937 million bushels of soybean meal nationwide. This high-protein powerhouse keeps chickens and turkeys thriving, making Ohio number 2 in egg production and number 9 in turkey farming. From farm to table, soybeans power the farms that feed families. Brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff. Well, let's take a look at how your market's closed for a Wednesday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. Well, March corn closed today up 6 1/4 cents at $4.90 1/4 cents. March soybeans were down 15 3/4 at $10.27 3/4 cents. And wheat for March closed today down 2 3/4, $5.74 1/4 cents. February live cattle closed lower. February lean hogs were higher. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe and warm out there. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. This is the Ohio AgNet.